Welcome back to the Armchair Warriors podcast. We got episode 2 on deck today. My name's Dylan.
My name's Luke.
We got a packed, probably hour show ready to go for today. We're going to talk NHL news, hockey news, more like. We're going to talk about the women's U18s again in that hockey news. All-star rosters are out. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We got a new little segment, 2 new segments today. We got our hot topic in the house where we discuss a hot topic that we went through during the week. And then we got a little game called the Career Path game where me and Luke pick one guy and we have to guess who it is through their career path. We'll get into that a little bit more. As well, we got Roger McQueen lined up.
I'm so excited for that one.
I'm pretty fired up to talk to that guy. It should be good. And then to wrap up the show, we're going to talk about the Calder race and then do some award predictions. So let's hop into it. Luke, what do we got for some hockey news to start today?
Right off the bat, we got our favorite show, Shorzy.
Stud
from the show, Terry Ryan,
yeah,
making his pro appearance back in the East Coast League.
Back in the coast.
And gotten a bit of a tilly while he was at it.
He was swinging them.
Yeah, 47 years old. It's impressive. I know only one game, and with the circumstance, that's about all you're going to get. But, man, was that fun to see and cool to see for a guy like him, and especially coming from a show that we watch with all of our heart, Shorzy. And then, shout out to him playing on the Bentley Generals in 2007-8.
Yep.
Playing against the Fort St. John Flyers, where we're from originally.
Just missed that wagon of a team that Fort St. John produced in 09, 010, or 010. 09-10.
There you go. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Moving on from him, going on to Marc-Andre Fleury. Yes. Second all-time wins past Patrick Waugh. That guy's going to be for sure first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
He's been electric.
Yeah.
He's been fun.
Just a winner.
Yeah. Nope. Nothing too crazy there other than best goalie. One of the best goalies of all time doing his thing.
Easily one of the best Canadian goalies, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. World Junior Carey. Just.
Oh, yeah.
He's a beauty.
He's awesome.
Yeah. And King Prankster. We talk about it all the time.
All the time.
Yeah. Would love to meet that guy.
Oh, man. He gets all the boys. It's funny.
Yeah. And then from there, we're going to move on to a little bit more of a topic where we were really wrong last week.
Okay.
We were pretty wrong. The women's U18s wrapped up last weekend, and we had a Canada-US final.
Yeah, see, we went 1 for 2. We shot 50%.
Yeah, but we were so confident with Canada going to that final.
Hey, what did I say last week? I said it's probably going to be a Canada-US final, but anything can happen in hockey, which it did. And then we had a Czech-USA final.
It did. The Czechs knocked off Team Canada in the first semifinal, and boy, just a stellar performance from the goalie. Like, what else can you even say about that?
It was 40-something shots. She came in, shut the door, and maybe a little bit of a lackluster goaltending performance from the Canadian girls. No knock on them. I mean, it's hockey.
It happens.
It happens.
Goaltending's one of the toughest positions in sports. Just when you're on, you're on. When you're not, you're not.
Yeah, so the Czechs knocked off Canada and went to the finals against the States, and Canada cleaned up bronze. They won 8-1 against the Finns.
Yeah, quite handedly versus the Finns.
And then the States-Czech game, pretty good game. I think it ended 4-2 or something like that.
A lot better of a game than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
The Czechs put up a pretty good fight.
The Czechs are producing some good hockey players for sure.
And they were young, like we talked about last week. But the States got a well-deserved win.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty. They got, what, would we say, 8, 9 returning players next year?
11.
Yeah.
They've got 11. It's crazy. 5 defensemen coming back, so almost their whole decor. But the Canadians have Chloe Pomerano coming back, who had led the tournament scoring 16 points. That was...
As a defenseman.
I
mean, she's unbelievable.
She's going to be fun to see on the Olympic team. Or hopefully in the P-Dub here soon.
The P-Dub's going to be fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good time.
Yeah. Speaking of the P-Dub, they are making an appearance at the All-Star Games.
Yes, they are. Thursday.
And, the Thursday night.
Kick it off.
Get her going the right way.
Yep.
It'll be good for them to showcase a little bit, and I'm excited for that game more than a lot of it. So
I mean, the All-Star game has just progressively got worse and worse. Yeah. But the skills competition should be fun. I don't want to confirm or deny if I heard this properly, but they consulted McDavid about some of the
That was what I heard too,
competition.
was that they consulted him for almost all of it. And that it's basically his competition to lose if you look at how it's done.
How it's lined up.
No, it's crazy. But we'll talk about formats next week and kind of as we get closer to it, getting excited. This week, we're going to talk about the All-Star jerseys and the rosters being released, both of which sore topics.
So bad, both of them.
Yeah. Oh my God. The jerseys. I don't even know who designed them. I don't want to know.
Well, they're a Bieber thing, obviously, because he's in Toronto and him and those Leafs boys are pretty tight. So it's hard to old man yells at cloud type thing because you can't get mad at the league for marketing it, but it's just there had to have been a better design out there that they could have ran with Bieber's brand, right?
There's got to be something cool. I didn't know that about the Bieber brand, but man,
I don't want to confirm that, but I'm relatively certain I seen that somewhere, but don't quote me on it. But I'm pretty sure since it's in Toronto and he's from around there.
That would make. He was in the ads too. Yeah. Not like they're coming after us anyways, but
no, exactly.
Yeah, those were brutal. Not really much else to say about that.
Yeah, they weren't great, but whatever. I mean, they're jerseys. I mean, I can't really remember a time where there wasn't any complaints about any of the jerseys.
No, people normally complain, and now it's just you look back with a retrospective, look at the retro jerseys, and you're just, those were sick, but at the time, people complained. Yeah. You're never gonna make anyone happy.
Nope, it's an impossible task, especially NHL fans. They are maybe the most bipolar fans out there.
Yeah,
they market the league. They get mad because they market the league, but then they get mad because the league doesn't make enough money. Blah blah blah, and it's what do you want?
Yeah, they want their players to have personalities. As soon as they show something that they don't like, bingo bango, we're not a fan of you.
Again, old man yells at cloud. Yeah, it's a very frustrating process.
Don't worry, we're going to do a little bit more of it here with the All-Star rosters.
Oh, God, are we ever.
Oh, my goodness. I don't even know where to start with this. You want to start with the one per team?
The one per team, you have to do it, and I don't hate it totally because, as a kid, you were very excited to see your favorite team get represented by, say, your favorite player, whoever it may be.
Yeah.
And when your favorite team sucked, you still got to see a guy.
You went through that with the Kings. Sorry, I had to throw that in there. Last couple of years,
I did, and I mean it's a frustrating process as a hockey fan when you see these guys that are in top 5 in scoring or somebody that deserves to be in the All-Star game get snubbed because every team needs one. So
yeah, well, we'll talk a little bit about the snubs.
Yeah,
because. Boy, oh boy. And the other thing I want to point out, before we talk about the snubs and the reason for some of the snubs, only 4 defensemen.
Yeah.
Aren't they? They're making 4 teams again this year, aren't they?
Making 4 teams, 9 skaters, 2 goalies a team?
Something similar to that. But you're still, I think that's exactly what it is. But so out of those 9 skaters, that's not really showcasing the best at their position. You're just picking fun 3-on-3 players, which I guess...
It makes sense.
Kind of makes sense, but it's, you look at guys who talk about all-star selections for Hall of Fame qualifications.
I think they have definitely thrown out all-star games as Hall of Fame qualifications. It's become a complete popularity vote, like we talked about last week. So I think it's kind of pointless to throw that into Hall of Fame argument.
Yeah, it is now for sure. Especially now, only 4 defensemen, and of the guys, the 4 defensemen are going: Morgan Riley, Cale Makar, Quinn Hughes, Rasmus Dahlin, probably the 4, not going to say most recognizable, but the futures and faces of the league for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
So don't mind that on their PR part, but you're leaving out some big guys. Evan Bouchard?
Yeah, he should have went instead of Draisaitl.
Yeah, I can't believe Draisaitl went. He's been mediocre at best. I mean, sorry.
He's one of the best players in the world.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong, he's awesome, but when you want to see guys go to the All-Star game that deserve to go to the All-Star game, and I just don't think Draisaitl's had that caliber.
He hasn't had quite the standout season that we're used to necessarily. Mm-hmm. But Evan Bouchard 4th in defenseman scoring, Noah Dobson 3rd in defenseman scoring, and they're both not going.
Yeah, and Bouchard in his sophomore year, everybody talks about that sophomore slump. He has thrown that completely out the window.
Not a thing for him.
Dominated as that quarterback of that power play 1 for the Oilers.
Don't get me wrong. Probably a bit of a power play merchant.
Yeah, those power plays might have inflated, but they struggled a lot at the start of the season. So
Yeah, and he's still +6, like on a back end that they still give up a lot of goals.
oh yeah,
So I don't know. And then Noah Dobson third. He's +16 this year on an Islanders team with 43 points. That's not what you think of scoring wise. Like he's been lights out.
very good.
Yeah, and it's not like them to leave out young guys.
No, I mean, again, they're trying to advertise the face of the leagues, right?
Yeah.
So, like those guys coming up, you're like, well, they're gonna be here for a while. But I mean, you send Morgan Riley there because it's in Toronto. You send Dahlin because Rasmus Dahlin. You send your Makars. You send all those guys.
Makar and Hughes because they're just
out of this world.
They got 10-point lead right now on third place in the defenseman scoring race. Yeah. But no, and then I think only two more snubs that I've got on the forward roster. We'll talk about Artemi Panarin.
Oh God.
Like the Rangers, obviously Shesterkin deserves to be there.
Quick, but sure.
I need you to get off of his wagon. But yeah.
I know. It's Shesterkin.
But anyways, Shesterkin's there. Panarin is fourth in league scoring, and he's not at the All-Star game. I don't even understand how that makes sense or works.
Fan voting, probably, because it's a complete and utter nightmare. Because these TikTok girls
there we go. Bringing it back from
I am going to bring it back because it pisses me off so much.
Yeah.
Because you go and look at the fan voting and it's like, Mitch Marner's a bad example, but like
because he's also very skilled,
he's very good, and it's just like why? But it brings it back to Luke Hughes. It's like why are we voting for like nothing against Luke Hughes because he's a good, promising defenseman, but it's just like it's so frustrating. But anyways, not to beat a dead horse because the fan vote is very frustrating.
Now I got a question for you. Do you think the fan vote's rigged? Because in what world are 4 Vancouver Canucks getting voted in? Like, they're good, don't get me wrong, but it's there's got to be guys voting against Vancouver.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Canadian stuff, I guess. I mean, Canadian fans are pretty passionate, so
true.
But then again, they were getting like upwards of 1 million votes, so you're like,
some of those guys deserve to be there when they're getting that many.
But how are we going to say it's rigged when everybody says Bettman hates Canada?
True. You know what? That's a good point. And for him, yeah.
But those guys are like the guys that went are good.
No, they're solid. It's still going to be fun. Like I do love the format.
The All-Star game's always fun.
I'm so excited for the draft.
Yeah, no matter how much you sit here and go, I hate the All-Star game, blah blah blah. It's like, oh, but I am going to sit down and watch it because it's the best players on planet Earth going to play.
Yeah.
In a 3-on-3 journey.
And whether they try or not. Yeah, even when they're not trying, they're doing skilled things that guys like us could never dream of.
Imagine.
Except in our beer league next week.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Second semester debut next week.
And I got one more question for you. Who do you think Chicago sends? Now that Bedard's hurt, or even Vegas now that Eichel's looking like he'll be out for it.
Probably Pietrangelo for the Golden Knights. I think he's just kind of a solid defenseman, and they kind of need defensemen.
Kind of need some more defensemen
out
there.
Probably lean that way with the Golden Knights. And I mean, there's really only one other option to send because literally that entire Blackhawks roster is hurt.
It's obviously Jason Dickinson.
Maybe even Connor Gutman, but that's a story for another day. It's probably Mrazek.
He's been lights out.
He's been really good.
He's ruined many a parlay for us.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I mean, he's kind of keeping that Blackhawks team afloat in a sense.
Yeah. I don't even know what were the shots the other night. We were watching the San Jose Chicago game.
It was upwards on it like we were
degenerates because that's just what we are. But
yeah, well, we have fun around here. It was upwards of 40. Like he was making some big stops. So I think you kind of have to. I don't know how the numbers work out. Like I don't know how many goalies are there right now. So if there's a conflict with number of goaltenders, but
I imagine they're filled out. I haven't looked. I think 4 goalies got voted in and 4 were there before, so they're probably at too many now. But which makes that decision so even much harder. Tougher.
Yeah, because you can't go into the roster and be like, yeah, no, we're not going with you anymore to put Mrazek in. So that's a tough question. I mean, honestly, next best option might even be Jason Dickinson.
It could be. No one else is really.
But
there.
Yeah, like that entire roster's hurt. Like no Foligno, no Seth Jones, no Bedard. Obviously, like I don't know who you send for
No.
for that squad.
No, kind of lost for words there.
Mhm.
But we've complained enough. Old man yelling at cloud.
Yeah, we're getting up there.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Now for our new segment.
Hot topic in the house.
We got a good one today.
We do.
It's started off. I was in class. We were talking about gambling a little bit and kind of what we were talking about. Showing ads and all the ads that have been around and kind of what forms of gambling are taken on as children. And that led to us talking about NHL opening packs, and we've got some fairly contrasting views on this one. Do you want to lead us off with what you think?
I mean, when it comes to like video game gambling, so like for sorry,
I'll lay it out with some context.
Yeah, like go context because I'm trying to lay it out, but I keep messing up. So you go first.
I'll lay it out with some context. We're talking about video games when now in the Hockey Ultimate Teams, other Ultimate Team games amongst all EA games and sports games. It's basically where you can build your roster however you want, and to get players, you either do challenges, which I have no problem with, or you open packs. And a lot of times, the open packs you can buy them, and then to buy those packs, you're spending money, and you're spending money for a chance at a good player. And in my head, you are paying money to have odds at getting a certain reward. That's gambling. It's tuning kids up to be just degenerates like we are. I'm blaming that on the reason why I love gambling so much. But we'll talk about that another day.
You are just outing yourself here. Oh my. I think, well, as a kid, like when I was growing up, obviously, like I'd play all the NHL games, and I didn't really get into like the Ultimate Team stuff until I was maybe 13, grade 7s, 13.
Yeah. 12,
whatever.
13.
I don't know. But anyways, when I played those Ultimate Team games, you got guarantees. Like when you said spent $20 on like those points and open packs, you got like a guarantee. It's like you can get so and so and so and so, blah blah blah, this and that for opening those packs. Now, that is completely different.
Yep.
So, from my point of view growing up, absolutely changed to now because now you see all these Ultimate Team games, and I don't play them as much anymore, but I still go on and look at it, and in big bolded letters, it's like you have a chance to pull it.
Yeah, not a greater chance,
not a guaranteed. Yeah, a greater chance of all-star game player pack, yada yada yada, whatever. So now I think absolutely it is setting kids up to get into gambling as they get older because you are getting those odds. You're putting those money on those odds so I can get my team better. But in my eyes growing up, I think it was, oh, spend $20? Cool. You get Sidney Crosby, and then you get whatever, throw them in your lineup and have some fun with it. So I don't think entirely like our generation.
Yep.
I don't think entirely we were groomed into gambling. I think that kind of started with ads, peers, blah, blah, blah. But now I will agree with your take that these kids now will be groomed into it. But my original stance on it was that kids really aren't being groomed into it, or we weren't, or that when we were growing up.
I think I'm going to challenge that a little bit. I'm going to change my perspective a little bit. I'm going to challenge that.
Okay.
I think even the fact of just opening packs and not knowing what you're going to get, it's grooming. Like it's like, oh my god, what is that card going to be coming down on the table? Like you're just like,
I guess it is kind of a thrill in a sense.
Yeah, you're just building that dopamine kick of like, hey, oh my goodness, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Am I going to win? Am I going to lose? Bingo, bango, 96, Connor McDavid shows up. I won.
Yeah.
And then now all of a sudden it's, where's that ace coming around the corner? Hopefully, maybe not. We'll see. But
yeah. I mean, the more I sit here and kind of think about it, the more I'm like, you're right. But I just like kind of like to argue with you because it's funny.
Yep. And that is what the point of this segment is going to be for the rest of this podcast while we do it.
But I don't think, to rebuttal that a second time, I don't think kids are like looking for that though. Like there's nothing in a kid's brain that goes,
I did. I definitely did. I enjoyed it so much.
Yeah, but you were playing poker in your garage at like 15. Like you're a sicko.
Not for money, but no, we had Yeah, we've been running poker games for a while, but even before, it's just exciting. Even if you go back to the Nintendo DS, playing poker against your brother. Did you ever do that on Super Mario?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
On the old DSi XL.
yeah.
It's
Oh
hard to
my,
miss
you were
out on.
lucky. I didn't even have the DSi. I just had whatever it was before that. I had like the first one. It was
Yeah, I had the big honking one.
oh,
It was a big blue
that's pretty
DS.
snazzy.
It was fun.
That's pretty snazzy.
Yeah.
But enough off topic. That's our segment.
Yeah, I mean, we're probably going to get a little more heated throughout these as we go through.
Yeah.
This one, we kind of agreed, and then I kind of 180'd, and now I kind of agree again. So maybe it wasn't so much of a hot topic as we kind of
Next week we'll bring you
collaborated on it.
in with the what I think is a pretty hot topic of the most underrated tool of all time.
Yeah,
And that one got pretty heated over the week. So we'll
yeah, that one will be next week for hot topic in the house. But moving on from our pointless, senseless debate that we were throwing out there,
yep.
we are going to get into our second interview on the podcast. We are both really excited about this
Yes,
one.
sir.
We have the one and only Mr. Roger McQueen lined up next. So, yeah, we're going to kick it over to ourselves with Roger, and we'll get back to our regularly scheduled program after the interview.
Our next guest is the fourth overall pick in the WHL. He was the assistant captain at the U17 World Hockey Challenge. He's the Hlinka Gretzky gold medalist. He's a point per game player in the WHL with the Brandon Wheat Kings this season. Projected top 10 pick in the 2025 NHL draft, Roger McQueen. Welcome to the pod, Raj.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here.
How's your season going so far?
It's kind of been a bumpy road. We kind of win some, lose some, but like we've been kind of going good here for a while. Last 20 games been really well and great teammates, and just like personally, I've been playing with some really good players like Nate Danielson that just left to Portland, so it's kind of made it easy on my life. But yeah, our guys are great, super tight group, and yeah, it's been awesome so far.
So I'm gonna hop into a real hard-hitting question. Not really, but so you went and won gold at the Hlinka Gretzky Cup. Just kind of touch on how that process was, kind of getting into Team Canada. Obviously, you played at U17s, but what was kind of winning gold there like with those guys, and how was that experience?
Oh yeah, it was unreal. It's kind of a long process. There's like a U17 like summer camp, and then you kind of got to get picked for the U17s, and that's in November last year. And then the Hlinka Gretzky Cup is in the summer after that, which is kind of just based on how your U17 performance was in some of your year, I guess. But yeah, like U18s at Hlinka tournament was unreal. It was so special. The guys were great on our team, and tournament, we played our first game, lost 9-6 to Finland, and we were kind of on our heels a bit and kind of nervous, but then our coach got us back on the good road, and we kind of ended off with a good tourney. And yeah, we played US in the semifinal, which was kind of a challenge, but they only send their second team there. They're not their NDDP team, so that's nice. But then yeah, Czechs in the final in Czech was kind of crazy. They were like packed barn, and it was 35 degrees in the building, and they were shooting flares on the side, and like, oh, it was nuts. Yeah, crazy. It was a great atmosphere, but somehow we pulled it off. And then in overtime, got to overtime, I took a penalty. So thank God they didn't score on that. Oh, it's awful. It was the worst feeling on the planet. But yeah, it was a sweet group. All the guys are awesome. Still talk to them, but yeah, great experience.
So winning gold, not many people get to win gold. What was the celebration like?
Yeah, it was like an unreal feeling, but like kind of in check. Like there's not a lot you can get after, especially what Hockey Canada's kind of gone through lately. So we were just hanging out with the guys in the room after, but it was unreal. And it was the general managers of Hockey Canada last year. So he kind of checked a couple boxes off there for his career, and then went to the Regina Pats general manager now. But yeah, like, the guys, it's just so awesome to win with them. But yeah, as far as the celebration goes, it's kind of just like an on ice and then back to the hotel, just whatever, stay up all night and then get on the bus home for an 11-hour trip, which was hell, but it was all right.
And like we said previously, you were obviously at the U17s and you were the assistant captain there. Obviously, you guys didn't get the result you wanted, but like, what was that process like? Obviously, there's three different teams, but kind of seeing the talent from across the country. How are the guys on that team?
Oh yeah, it was awesome. I was pretty nervous to make that team. Like I had a good summer camp, but like me and Hads didn't have a great start to the season that year or the season there first year was kind of tough. So I think I was yeah, the lowest point getter on my team in U17. But other than that, like our guys were awesome. But U17s, it's kind of a weird tournament because US sends their top team and we have Canada's three different teams. So I think we played US and lost 11-1. So kind of like a humbling experience for them, especially how cocky they are when they went on us. But yeah, like exactly, the guys are good. And Hads unfortunately had a rough go there. Took out his ankle in the first shift or whatever. But yeah, I was on Chuck's team too, so that was nice. But yeah, going there was it was pretty it's pretty interesting. Like the tournament format's kind of weird, but we got rolled. But it was a lot of fun. It was sweet.
Yeah, for sure. Moving on from two much bigger tournaments on to one of the biggest minor hockey tournaments. You played in the Brick tournament. What was that like playing at that when you're only 9 years old? That's pretty big experience.
Yeah, that's such a sweet tournament to be able to go to, especially in like the mall and being able to play in front of so many fans and like wherever that is. Yeah, West End Mall. Although it's so hot, but like one of the like you get to put the eye black on and think you're a stud for the time being. But yeah, honestly, that tournament it's a tough tournament because Saskatchewan's got such a little group to pick from, and like versus playing like Toronto where they have all of that. But I think we lost in the quarterfinals against Boston. Yeah, Boston. We were up 3-0 and then blew it in the third. But
No.
on the side note, I was excited. I got to go to the West End Mall. That's all I really cared about that tournament. I guess at 9 years old, that's all you're thinking about. But yeah, that tournament is it's a hard tournament. It's sweet though, and so young, and the experience you get to play in the mall in front of all your like family, and it's not too far away. I think it's a pretty cool experience.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, there was times when I was growing up, I'm like, oh, like you see kids out there skating, you're like it'd be cool to play a game there, and then you get to play in the tournament. That's pretty cool. And sticking
Yeah.
on the minor hockey thing, so in your second year bantam, like we talked about, you scored 27 points in 4 games. Like obviously that was the COVID season, so you had like shortened it up, but like just walk us through that. That is insane.
Yeah. Well, we had a pretty good squad that year. I was playing with one of my best buddies, Trey Wilkie. He plays on Lethbridge now, but yeah, we kind of loaded up the forwards and kind of left the D out to dry for a bit. But but we also, so like in bantam, you draw to like play the out of town teams. How many times you play them? So Humboldt, they're not a very good team. So we drew them 4 times for the first 4 games of the year. So it wasn't as cool, gained 27 points in 4 games, but it's still pretty cool. But the team we played was not a double A team. They're a little on the shittier side, but oh, pardon my language. But but yeah, no, it was pretty sweet. That season, I think we had a good squad. We probably would have ended up getting somewhere in playoffs, but COVID obviously got us all and kind of took us for a toll. But yeah.
Yeah, that still must have made some of an impression because
Yeah.
moving into the WHL draft, you went fourth overall. What was that like getting picked that high, just to be kind of considered that good amongst everyone in Western Canada?
Yeah, it was an honor to go fourth row. It was pretty sweet. I was at Houston's because my buddy's dad owns it, not the bar, but a little too young. Yeah, so we were all, my family and uncles were all watching the draft, and actually the TV ended up lagging, so I couldn't even see myself get drafted. So I found out at the 7th pick that I went fourth. I had no idea. So, but yeah, it was unbelievable, and especially seeing Charlie, I knew him before, going there. Hads, I did not know Hads, but yeah, it was awesome. It was so lucky to go fourth, and like, yeah, I don't know. I guess 27 points helps you. Luckily, it was against Humboldt, but and then the game right before the draft. I think the draft was in December because it was pushed back because of COVID. So they watched us play midget for a bit. And the game right before the draft, like all of Brandon and all the scouts were there, and I probably played the worst game of my life in entire hockey. It looked like I was hungover and puking the day before, but ended up working out with all the scouts. But yeah, it's just awesome. And now that it's worked out so well with our team and just going to Brandon and meeting so many new people, it's been great.
Yeah, and so speaking on you going to Brandon, obviously this is your second full season that you're playing in. Just kind of talk about how the year's been so far, and obviously you guys just lost Danielson, but like how has the year been so far? So all the guys in the room and more so yourself.
Yeah, no, like yeah. So first year, kind of like a tough year. It was a grind. It was a 68 game grind that. So it was a long year. We can say that for the least. But yeah, like playing your second year is it's such a different league when you have a year under your belt and you kind of know the play and the pace of play and going in there, so you have a little bit more confidence. But yeah, the year started off great. There's been some cold spots, but our team's been doing really well. Especially we lost Danielson to World Juniors for a bit there, and we had a really good long streak with him without him there. So I think that kind of brought us to think that even if we do trade him, we can still kind of make some waves in the standings and stuff. But yeah, it's been a really great year, and I've obviously had a little bit better of a year than I did my first year, which is nice. I was about to end my hockey career after my first year, but kind of got back at it. So yeah, that's been nice. And yeah, especially living on the same street as Hads, Joby, and then living with Chuck is awesome because we're over here or at each other's houses every day. So it's kind of nice to be able to be close with the guys your age and have such a tight group.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone is really glad that you came back after what you're doing this year and just having you around the room. But speaking of being in the room, kind of who do you sit with? And now that you're a little bit more comfortable, who's kind of the funniest guy in the room?
Okay. I actually sit with Hads, and I sit beside Hads and Dominic Peter. He's our Czech. He's a Euro. But funniest guy in the room. Oh boy. I would have to say, I bet you had said the same thing. Hayden Wedden.
Yeah, that was what he was saying.
Yeah, he was like a super shy guy first 20 games here, no one knew, and then he just exploded, and I was like the funniest guy I've ever met in my life. But yeah, him and probably Hank the Tank. he's also got a character on him. They kind of go hand in hand. They're a duo, and they kind of get after you. But yeah, it's a great room, and they're everyone on our team is very comfortable, and everyone plays around, and it's awesome.
And to stay on the lighter side of things, I mean, this is probably going to be a tough question to answer because I'm sure it gets pretty bad out there on the ice. But what's the best chirp you've heard? Anything that's got thrown your way, or you've thrown at somebody?
Oh boy, I gotta think for that one. Okay, I need to think.
Yeah, I know we're kind of putting you on the spot, and it's a tougher one, and especially when you're trying not to swear, it makes it tougher. But
yeah,
I'll keep it PG. We were playing Kamloops Blazers last year, and I somehow found my way onto Danny's line with, I can't remember who was on the wing, but found my way onto their line, and I think we were playing Kamloops with Stankoven, obviously. And what did he say? Okay, one sec here.
Yeah, you go take your time, figure it out. It's like you got all the time in the world.
Okay. Yeah, so it was kind of a chirp to our whole team. It wasn't really me, but so we were playing Stankoven, and I ended up, we'll just sit through the game. I ended up -5 that game. So it was not a good game, and that was obviously my last time ever playing with Danny that year. There's not a chance of going back on that line. But Stankoven, he came down the wall, put it through my legs or whatever, and then went down and scored, and we changed, and then they had they did their whatever, like huddle in the corner after he scored, and I like changed, sat down on the bench, and he came by and he goes, McQueen, watch out next time or you're not going to be able to play the rest of the year. So I was like, oh, nice. In front of my whole team. So, but, learn from it. Trying to be like him a little bit more, but yeah, that got me.
That's fairly humbling as a 16-year-old.
Yeah,
but
yeah, exactly.
It's going to feel good when you can do that to someone in a couple years, and you can just some 16-year-old comes in the league and you're just going to light him up.
Yeah, but I might not. The way I felt after that was not I don't think I'll be quite there yet. I felt just humiliated. So try to be a bit nicer.
It might even be worse when you just do it to them and then they don't even get chirped because they just have to suffer the embarrassment of that happening to them anyways.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
But moving away from that, and obviously you've had a really stellar season this year, crack some lists for next year. I know they're early projections, but what's it kind of like knowing that the NHL is starting to take a look at you and that you're kind of projected to go in that top 10 range as of right now? And just what's that like being considered that high?
Yeah, it's obviously a pleasure to be on that list and like have people think of me like that. But like, it's just like, you got to think of it the way like anything can really happen in the next year and a half. Like there's injuries and so much stuff can be thrown your way. But yeah, it's awesome to be like have that praise from people. But it's kind of nice when you've worked so hard like throughout your years and like always thought like the dub was like the coolest thing ever, and that you could go there and play, like growing up watching Blades games and stuff, and kind of being able to look at the next level. And yeah, it's kind of just got to keep your head down and keep doing what you're doing. But it's tough to not like look into those things, but it's the best thing to do. And yeah, it's just a great feeling.
Well, do we have anything else for this young man?
No, I really enjoyed that, Roger. Thanks for hopping on.
Rog, that was awesome.
Oh, yeah, it was sweet.
That was fantastic. Thanks again, dude. It was a pleasure to have you on, and we hope to have you on again sooner than later.
Oh yeah, I'll be open anytime. There's not a lot going on in Brandon, so I'm open all the time. Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks again. That was Roger McQueen. I know we had some fun doing it. He's a pretty funny guy. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did, because what a character he is.
Yeah, it's fun to talk to him anytime you get the chance, and I know it's not often, but we're always happy to have him on the show.
Yeah, I mean, if he ever wants to come back, which I hope he does, because pretty fun interview, that guy.
Yeah, for sure. Now, moving on to my favorite segment, what is going to quickly become my new favorite segment.
There you go.
The career path game. Dylan's going to take it away with the rules.
So, career path game. Me and Luke, we're going to pick a player each that played in the NHL, obviously, take their career path. So the rules are, we're going to have a minimum of 500 games played, 300 games played for goalies. They must be drafted, no undrafted players, and they have to have played their first game after the 2004 draft, because that's when we were born, and it makes it a little bit easier on us.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and then we got some other rules, of course. So we got a scoring system. So 3, 2, 1. So how you acquire 3 points is, so the first time we go through the career path, you get team and the years they played throughout their career. So if you can get it off those hints, you get 3 points. Moving on to 2 points, so the other person throws you what year they were drafted and who they were drafted by. I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter because we kind of knew it previously.
But nationality.
Yeah, we get their nationality as well. And if you still can't get it off that, we move down to 1 point. So basically the next hint is what they're most known for, maybe some initials, their nickname.
Basically whatever we can do to make the other person guess it.
Yeah, and you have a 5-minute shot clock. So if you can't get it off in 5 minutes, you just lose. If you can't get it off in 5 minutes, you lose. You get 0 points, and we'll move on from there. But who wants to go first?
I don't know. I don't.
Do you have a coin?
I'll put the.
I don't have a coin.
We'll spin a pen.
Okay,
spin
pen.
like a nice tee
we're on the
flip.
tee box.
Okay, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right at you.
So
we didn't think that through.
No, we didn't. No.
Okay.
Oh no, I defer. So you get to go first.
I'm guessing first.
You're guessing first.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
I'll get the clock rolling.
Let me pull my guy up. Hold on, I did have him right here.
Oh, and this timer's gonna stress me out too.
I know you're gonna.
I got it sitting right in front of me.
You're gonna think about it a bit. Hey?
I'm gonna be nervous.
Okay, so here we go.
And we're just going hints whenever I ask for them. Like that's when we'll lower the score.
Yeah.
We'll
just lower the score. So we're gonna start off first. 3 points are on the board. Are you ready?
Okay. We'll get the career path out there first for all the listeners,
and
then I'll start the timer and we'll get going.
Career path. Here we go. So he first started his career in Buffalo in the 2009-10 season. He played there all the way up until 2016-17. He then made his way over to Minnesota in 2017-18. The following season, 18-19, the Toronto Maple Leafs. 19-20, the Ottawa Senators. 2019 through 2021 was with the Oilers and finished his career in 2021-2022 with the Ottawa Senators.
Oh boy. Well, let's get after it. I have no idea.
Yeah,
okay, so we're rolling.
What's going to make you think?
Buffs early, hey?
Buffalo for a while, like a good 6-7 years.
Can't be Artem Zub because he's still playing.
He's still playing.
Man, I don't even know that old boy's on that. Oh. Nope. That's not right. He was with Ottawa longer. It's not a goalie, right?
No goalie, no.
Okay.
Goalie.
I was going to make a dumb guess there. I was going to guess Craig Anderson.
Oh, no.
But
makes sense. I mean, he didn't play for the Oilers, Leafs. But, yeah, no, that totally makes sense.
Hey, there was A. Anderson that played for the Leafs. I don't know. We were getting bold there.
Fair enough.
Leafs. Oh, my goodness. Run me through. We got Buffalo.
Buffalo, 2009 to 2017.
Most known with Buffalo, I'm guessing?
Most known with Buffalo. For myself, anyways.
Okay. Then moved on to Toronto.
No, moved on to Minnesota, then Toronto, Ottawa, Edmonton, back to Ottawa.
Holy moly. I am jumping right to my second hint. I have no idea.
So you want...
He's going to be a Russian, I'm calling it.
This young man is an Edmonton native, drafted 26th overall in the 2008 NHL entry draft.
Or are we getting junior on this hint, or are we getting...
Do you want junior? I can give you junior.
No, I'll take junior. Oh, I mean, he's going to be a West Coast guy.
Played all 4 years with the Medicine Hat Tigers.
Oh, I just saw this one. Yep. He just retired?
I'm not giving you another hint.
Tyler Ennis.
What a great career from that guy.
Oh, yeah. Great dub career. They were showing us clips today of the six goals in a game. Are you kidding? Okay, so that moves me to 2 points.
2 points for you.
That junior was huge. I did not think it was going to be that big.
I know. Once you said, can I get junior? I'm like, sure.
I think I feel a lot worse about mine now that yours was Tyler Ennis.
I got my timer over here.
That being said.
You feel worse?
That being said, you're a lot smarter at hockey than I am with background knowledge, so you should be an advantage here.
All right.
Let's move into the careers.
I might be looking for a tie here.
Yeah, you're looking for 3 points for a win. What do we do in a shootout? Like, what happens if we tie?
Shootout, we go just find another guy.
Figure it out when we get there.
Find another guy.
Okay.
Don't worry about it now.
Sounds good. My guy.
Oh, boy.
Opening season, 2007.
Oh, gosh.
With St. Louis for 4 seasons. 13 to 15 was with the Edmonton Oilers. 14 to 16, the Pittsburgh Penguins. Oh, didn't play in the playoffs that year. Oh, because he got traded to the Anaheim Ducks 2015-16 before the playoff run. That's unfortunate. Yep, St. Louis in 2016-17. Vegas 2017-18. Then back to St. Louis for 2018 to 2022. And now last 2 seasons in Detroit.
Holy moly.
Guy's been a suitcase.
I don't know where Ivan Barbashev is currently, and I don't think he's that old. So I don't think it's Barbashev.
Believe it or not, I had him pulled up, and I was going to pick him.
Really?
And went against it. That was where I got the idea. It was from that roster, one of the Blues rosters that he was on.
Was he on the Cup team?
Perron?
You... David Perron.
Nope. Oh, no.
Are you kidding?
Am I just going to soak a loss for that?
Yeah, you have.
I think I have to soak a loss.
3 points for me.
That's so heartbreaking. You got been fooled. That's so devastating.
Oh my god. And that's going to be the first segment of the Career Path game. I'm going to go up 1-0 because Luke
is a bumbling idiot. That's
just
about all it
slipped
takes.
up. You slipped up.
Yep.
Oh gosh, that is tough. Well, thank you,
He was
David
on the cup
Perron.
team. Yeah, I was pretty confident in that one too.
That was a good one,
Thanks.
and I wouldn't have probably thought about it until you blatantly said his name right to my face.
His junior career was only 1 year in the QMJ too.
That wouldn't help me at all.
No, it was random. But dog, that guy.
Oh gosh.
Man, that's a heartbreaking way to lose. I will be better next week.
Yeah.
Looking to bounce back.
I mean, hey, first game jitters, I get it. It happens.
As soon as I said it too, it was just pure heartbreak. You know what? I'll soak it.
I hate to be that guy, but I gotta get every win I can get. Right?
Oh no, I'm bouncing back. Back. It's coming back.
You'll be all right.
That's all right. Anyways, there it is.
Number one in the
already
list.
My least favorite segment in the show. Is what it is. We're moving on. Dylan moves up 1-0.
Yeah, that'll be 1-0 early.
Yeah.
For me. Feels good.
Heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking.
But last topic of the day.
No. Well, kind of.
Sort of last topic of the day. Talking about NHL trophies.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the Calder race now that Bedard is out.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of his trophy to lose still, I think.
I agree.
I think 6 to 8 weeks, I mean, that's a really big time frame. Maybe they don't get him back within 6 to 8 weeks. They kind of even keep him out longer. I don't think he's a person that would do that, though.
No.
Obviously, he's got a bright future, so maybe not worth the risk of re-injury. But with Bedard out, I mean, who are your front runners?
That's a tough one. I'm going to Luke Hughes. I think Luke Hughes, 23 points in 41 games as a defenseman. -5, kind of hurts. 11 power play points, kind of a power play merchant. Still impressive as a rookie defenseman to be manning a power play
Extremely.
And doing that well, because Korchinski's not doing as well. Not that he has the weapons.
No, not that
in Chicago.
He doesn't have every single piece on the power play, but
no.
I do get that it does take a lot of skill and poise to kind of run an NHL caliber power play. So yeah. Lots of credit to him.
But you give me 4 months of training, I think I could do it. Put up 12 points in a season. Just a tidbit out there.
That could be hot topic in the house.
That could be hot topic coming up quick.
Yeah, I think it probably is going to be Hughes. I think if he keeps trending in the right direction. Marco Rossi, kind of sneaky good. Obviously, the Wild are in the...
Helps that he's in a bit of a...
The Wild are a weird team, man.
Yeah, I wanted to say that he's in a sheltered role, but they haven't been good.
They haven't been good
but
at all.
He's put up a respectable 24 points. The only thing is about the Bedard thing is if he comes back and we get to see prime bubble Bedard.
Bubble Bedard back.
Like if we get bubble Bedard for even 3 weeks, he might put up 20 points in 10 games because he's just prime bubble Bedard.
He's a goal scorer.
But we'll assume for our argument, for our debate, we both agree that it's Bedard's trophy to lose. If he comes back in 6 weeks, I think he's got it locked up. Obviously, assuming that he performs as he had been, but
of course,
based off the wrist injury, he's always come back way better than he was before. So
yeah, I mean, he's just gonna be eating like a champ with that jaw injury now. So
yeah, but assuming that Bedard, moving on, is out for, we'll say 12 weeks, enough that he loses the Calder race.
Yeah, loses a few. He's starting to. Yeah. Some of those guys gain some
ground. Another dark horse that I like is Connor Zary. A lot of people have started to talk about him lately. A little bit of Canadian bias playing on, obviously, Calgary. But he's got 22 points in 34 games. He's keeping up with them. A lot of those other guys not playing nearly as many games, and he's plus 14.
Yeah, I mean, he's on a... It's hard to say he's on a good team because the Flames aren't great. But, they're not bad either. They have the pieces to be good.
He's not at the same disadvantage that a Fantilli or a Bedard is at for their plus-minus wise.
Yeah, plus-minus is kind of hard to argue, especially depending on the situation. It all varies. The only reason I don't like Connor Zary is because I have to I have to see all these idiots on Okay, not idiots. That's rude. But all these Flames fans on Twitter just constantly
basically the same thing. And us living in Calgary, we deal with a lot of them.
Oh, it's so like, where's Zary? Where's Zary? Why is he not in this Calder vote? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh my god, like, jeez. Well, he's 27. Like, no, he's not that old.
But I don't even know how old he is.
He's, I think, a few years removed from junior. I think he's probably like 21 or 2.
Old enough that he's not the same age as Connor Bedard.
Older than the rest of the competition. But I'm not going to knock him for it. I think he's kind of coming around as he's going to be a good player for the Flames for a while. So yeah. I think, he should be in the conversation, though. Ultimate bias aside from having to listen to Flames fans talk about him, I think he is very good and should kind of be in that dark horse or in that conversation for the Calder.
Yeah. Now that we've talked about kind of, like, we'll move away from what after now that we've looked through our top kind of selections for who we could win it. We'll just get bold here, and we'll make we're gonna make our predictions now for the end of season for the trophy race, and we'll check back then and see how we did, and we'll check back progressively. But we're only gonna go through the main trophies or the big ones that we like to talk about. Tough to talk about the Jack Adams. Tough to talk about GM of the Year because, well, we're just not that knowledgeable about it, but. We're going to start with our predictions. Since we just talked about it, the Calder Trophy. We'll do 2. 1, Calder Trophy prediction. Who do you think is going to win?
I mean, it's Bedard. I mean, it's not that hot of a take. It's Connor Bedard.
Yeah.
With that being said, I have a backup pick.
Yeah, let's hear it. We'll go.
My backup pick would be Hughes. I think if there were to be a guy that kind of finishes out the season strong, it would be Luke Hughes, in my opinion, because that team's going to try and make a playoff push, and he's going to be a big part of that team. So,
I think I'm going to go in a different direction.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Brock Faber.
Oh, okay.
And I know we didn't even really talk about him, but
yeah, not really.
No, but being a defenseman with 21 points, his shooting percentage being only 3%, I think it has to go up. Luke Hughes' shooting percentage is sitting around that 12%. I think if he could get to a more respectable, even 8 to 10%, you're doubling his goal total from this year so far, and all of a sudden he looks a little bit more like a threat. I think he's going to push. I'm picking Brock Faber.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad pick. I mean, he just logs minutes for that Minnesota.
Yeah, logging 25 minutes a game on average right now. But Bedard's trophy to lose.
Yeah, I think everybody can kind of agree that it's Bedard's trophy to lose.
Yeah.
And, I mean, even 6 to 8 weeks still is kind of helpful. I mean, he's got to help the competition out a little bit. He was running away with it for a second. So
yeah, like McDavid giving him an Art Ross advantage. Now, moving on to the Art Ross.
The Art Ross.
Who do you think it's going to be?
Well, you did persuade me a little bit earlier.
There we go.
I was going to say McDavid. I mean, because that guy's a freak. But if the Tampa Bay Lightning keep getting power plays, it is going to be Nikita Kucherov because that guy produces on the power play. One of the best power play players in the world. So
that whole power play is just disgusting.
So good. I think it's going to be a pretty tight race with him and Nathan MacKinnon, but I think if those guys keep producing on the power play, it's hard not to say Kucherov.
McKinnon's not slowing down. I got McKinnon at the Art Ross.
Okay.
Are we gonna wager on this a little bit?
I mean, we can.
We've already talked about our gambling problems. We might as well just
we'll throw a wager.
A little wager down.
Yeah.
What do you think? I think I'll buy you a beer.
Yeah,
we'll go for a beer.
We'll go for a beer.
Okay, sounds good. We'll keep track of these. Make sure we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
I got McKinnon, so there's a slight difference there. Got a couple different picks now going into it.
Yeah.
But from the Art Ross, the guy who usually wins the Hart Trophy, normally wins the Art Ross.
Typically.
Who do you have in your Hart Trophy with a non-playoff Tampa team? Just kidding. They're probably gonna make the playoffs because they're just Tampa.
They're Tampa. I mean, it's hard not to say Matthews. That guy scores constantly. I'm picking Matthews. I mean, who knows? He could slow down. But
he's also had a 60-goal season, so there's a healthy chance that he doesn't slow down.
I mean, there's a chance he gets 70 this year. So
that's kind of crazy to think that we might even see that.
Yeah, if we could see a 70-goal score, that would be crazy. But yeah, I think
because we're youngins, we haven't seen that before.
No, it's been a while since that's kind of came around. So I'm gonna go with Matthews.
I'm gonna contradict you. I'm gonna go basic. I'm going with my Art Ross pick.
Fair enough.
McKinnon's gonna drag that Colorado team.
Yeah, man.
Into the playoffs.
Different type of conversation, but wow.
Yeah.
They're having some struggles.
if anyone's gonna drag him in,
It's that guy.
It's Mac Daddy. He's
second best player in the world.
Yeah, and haven't picked McDavid for any of the awards yet. I don't even think I have him on any of my award sheets this year.
I don't think so either. Not to fault him because he's the best player.
He's the best player in the world. Every time we watch, I say it every single time without fault.
Hard not to say that every time you watch him, but yeah, I think the slow start in Edmonton just really kind of hindered it, and everybody took off, and they haven't looked back since. So it's hard to throw McDavid into all these awards. He's got to let somebody else win them eventually, right? So
this is the year, giving everyone else a chance. He just wanted to make everyone else feel better before he goes and wins a cup this year.
Yeah.
Go Edmonton.
No.
No? Okay, fine. Anyways, over to the Norris. We'll move to the defenseman.
It's tough to say, but it's going to be Quinn Hughes.
Yeah. And I think Makar should. I think he's by the end of the season that Makar's going to be a better player, but I think that it's Quinn Hughes' trophy to lose.
Yep. He's been dominant. Dominant? Did I say that wrong?
Yeah, no, you're good.
I said it wrong the first time, though.
Oh, probably.
Whatever. But it's Quinn Hughes.
Yeah. It's just going to have to be. And I wish Makar would win because I love Makar. He's awesome. Really love a Quebec Nordiques reverse retro Cale Makar jersey hanging on this wall. Yeah. But that's for a later date. Anyways, moving on from the Norris. Consensus there.
Yeah.
Let's just, we kind of skipped over at the Rocket Richard real quick. But I mean, I think this is kind of going to be a consensus again. It's got to be Poppy.
Yeah.
Yeah? We're just rolling with Poppy?
Yeah, I'd think so.
Sounds good. Perfect. We'll keep that the same. And then over to the Vezina. Pretty standard again, I think.
I want to hear yours.
It's got to be Connor Hellebuck.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I went Hellebuck as well.
Dude's been carrying.
Yeah, even his underlying stats are pretty solid. Like, he is shutting the door constantly, so.
Yeah, I don't even think there's really many goalies making a push. I mean, Georgiev getting wins and getting into the All-Star game because of it. Not a fan of that.
No.
I know we touched on it earlier, but not a fan of that at all.
No.
Anyways, Hellebuck for the Vezina. Kind of agreed on that. So a couple different picks. Couple the same.
Yeah. I mean, Aiton Hill could maybe make a push for it. Obviously, he was hurt, but he's got some pretty solid stats.
There's been some guys with some good stats this year.
Yeah, like there's some
Joey Decord.
Yeah, I was going to say
I
seen his name up there. Obviously, these are just base stats, and I don't know how the voters look at it with underlying stats and
I'm not too
advanced
sure
stats, but I think Hellebuck has been a big piece in the Jets' success this year, so I'd lean that way for sure.
Yeah, and that pretty much concludes the trophies we're going to talk about.
Yeah, I think
we got our predictions in. We got a beer on the line. So yeah, that'll pretty much wrap it up. Take us away, Dylan.
That is going to wrap up episode number 2. Again, I had a lot of fun. We really enjoyed Roger.
Yeah,
that kid's a character.
Yeah,
we had some fun with him, but we are going to be done for today. Thank you again for taking the time to watch and or listen. We're still working out the kinks on the Apple Music side of things. We
should be ready to go by this week or next week.
We're not going to guarantee an episode release on Apple Music this week. We're still working out stuff with getting listed on there, but episodes should be up on YouTube Friday night. I won't guarantee a time, obviously, but episode up on YouTube Friday night as well as Spotify. We're aiming for 6, but whether or not that's true, we'll keep the socials updated for sure. But again, thank you all for taking some time to sit down and listen and or watch. It's been a pleasure, and we will see you guys next week.